Back again, and in this video I'm just going to share a quick Rust code update which I was doing for the Rust project I'm building nowadays. So here basically first let me tell you the problem, like what was the problem. So the problem was if you go to my GitHub, and I just want to show you the real issue, because I like to work on issues rather than getting them as a task. So if you come to this repository, so this is the issue I'm trying to solve. So should not send an email to already registered email. So basically accordingly, because I have built a flow that basically this is like the app built on Remix, and I'm working on it. So like the flow is like, first you enter an email here, and this code like as soon as you press the button create account, it is supposed to send a verification email to you if you're not already registered, and then you click on that link and then you verify your email, and then you set your password, and then you can log in if everything goes well. So that's a flow basically. But there was a bug, like that even if you have already registered yourself, but still if you try to put the same email and if you press the button create account, it will ended up sending you an verification email again, even though you are already registered. So like of course, like that's a bug. So if you really like as of now, if you try to send an email to an existing user, it should not send that and an error that user email already has been registered basically. So this is the expected behavior, but this was not the expected behavior. This was not the expected behavior as of now. Okay, just delete this. So this is the expected behavior which was not there. So I just want to show you how I solved this issue, and I also want to show you that why I always believe that you should work with the test driven development. So I've already done with the issue, but I just wanted to record this issue solving session. So I can show you the code directly, and like here's the code. So first of all, like if you go to the auth handler, and you can see that like I wrote a test. So I created a test, and this test makes sure that you should not ended up having a verification email when you are already registered in the DB. This is the sign up method which is responsible to send you a verification email. So if you come here and if you like come to this route, and if you go to this sign up method, so this is the method which is responsible to send an verification email. So first it check if the user is already exist, and then if it exists, then it show you it sends an error that user with this email already registered exist, and otherwise it like generates and token and then send you an email. Basically, that's how it's working. So that's the flow. So again, if I try to explain the flow is working like user enter their email, get the verification email with token, opens the email and email link, set the password, and then log in. If you try to use the same email again for the registration, it should give you an error. So if you use the same email again for the sign up, it should give you an error. So this is the expected flow. Okay, so let's delete the comment. So the bug was there because I forgot to do something, which is like if you see the like commit history, the most recent changes in the JetBrains ID, if you like click on this commit button, you can see. So if you open this file, you can see this. Initially I was not using the return statement here, because in Rust, when you in Rust, you don't have to use return statement if you don't want to return in between. The only case when you want to use, or when you use a return keyword, when you want to return in between without completion of the execution of the function. So I forgot to use a return word here. So because of that, even though you are already registered yourself in the DB, it will end up sending you a new verification email. So that was the bug. So this is the new change I have done. So basically this is my previous commit, and this is my most recent code change. So that's how you do a code review before committing your code when working with IDE, and I use it a lot. So in future, I'm thinking that I'll be creating a video on how to use this IDE and do the most basic and the daily life Git operations using JetBrains IDE, any JetBrains IDE, because the flow is the same. Okay, so I have added this return. So basically now what this will do, as soon as they will be like this type of error, it will return the function in between, and it will block the further execution of the code. So it will not send you a verification email on this error. Instead, this will end up sending you this error as a response with the bad request 400. So now let's talk about the test. So what I'm doing here, basically, I'm just setting up my DB, because I'm using a test database URL test. So in my .env file, I have a variable called database URL test, which is pointing to a database PostgreSQL database URL running in my Docker instance as my local database. For the production, I'm using a cloud PostgreSQL database, but for the testing purpose, I'm using Docker locally. Okay, so here the test DB setup. So I'm just setting up the DB. Then I'm getting the repository access, because of course we need the repository access to create a user in the DB. And then I'm having a test email. Okay, so this is the test email. Now first we create a user directly in the DB, because we have a repository, so we can create a DB. So we create a create user request, we create a user object, and then we save that user object into the user into the DB using user repository. And then now we are setting up the test. So basically here what we are doing, we are just setting the app state, because in Rust you need use do some setup in the app state, so that you can use those app state throughout the your HTTP request, your JWT configuration, or your database pooling, or your repository clone, or your database pool clone. So here we are setting up a test in service, app new, setting app state, app data, user repo.clone, and route this route. So basically what we are doing, instead of in test like we do in unit test, instead of calling this sign up method directly in the test, I'm just calling the actual route in the test here. So I'm just hitting the actual route, and that route will be calling to the sign up method. So eventually we are doing exactly what we are supposed to do as a client. Okay, so here now the sign up should fail because the user is already exists. So now this test, now the sign up should fail and the test should pass. So also what we are doing, we are hitting this route and this should fail because we are already having an user. So response test call service get the response, and then we are asserting the response that this response.status should be the bad request, and sign up should fail for the existing user, and test for the error message. So that error message should be here. This should be the error message. You can skip this step if you want, but then we are asserting error response.get error. So that should be this error in the JSON response. The error value should be there. Error field should exist in the response. Okay, and then finally we are again asserting the actual error message, which is user with this email already exists. Okay, if you try to find this thing here, so we can find it here in the sign up method. So this is what exactly we are setting up in this sign up method. Now you go down. So as of now, this test should pass. Okay, so if we now try to run this test should pass. Okay, so now to make this test fail, what we can do, we can go to the sign up method and we can remove this return statement. for now from here as well. Now if you go to the test and if you run the test, it should fail, but this will actually this will be sending a mail to that. Okay, now it's failing because we expected, if you click difference, we expected 400, but it is actually 200. So it sent an email to that email, like a verification email. Okay, so the test is failing now. This is why we need test. So now again, to make the test pass, what we need to do, we just need to put that return statement back there. So now if we run the test, now again it should pass. Yeah, it's passing, and we can check this in the real execution as well. So in my DB, not this DB, but this DB, we are having this email, chinmayanand@gmail.com. Now if you try to put that same email here, and if you try to create an account, it should give user with this email already exists. Otherwise, what is the flow in my case? The flow is that okay, now if I try to delete it from the DB, okay, so now it is deleted. So now it should send you an email. Okay, we have sent a verification email to this email. Return to sign in. You go to your Gmail and you wait for the email. You got the email and you click on the verify links, but I need to update my backend to point to the new remix port, but right now it is pointing to this like local 3000, because initially I was using nextjs. So I just need to do that 5173 and enter. Now I can set my password. Set your password here. And logged out. I logged in. Then sign out. Then close this tab and go back to your original tab. And from here we navigate. Now we should be able to sign in. The same email. Sign in. Now if we try to sign up, it should give an error. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted. So now whenever I will be now if I try to commit, so what the issue number is, issue number 7. So if you go back here and if you try to commit this, check the status. If you try to commit this, commit fix duplicate user issue number 7. Okay, and now if I want to push this code, of course I can do it. Yeah, okay, so it's now you cannot see any changes here because we have already committed them. And if you go to the git log and if you see fix duplicate user issue, if you click on this branch, on this node, you can see the changes, what were the changes. Correct. And so now let's try to push this. Now if you go back to my GitHub, you should have in dev branch you should be having a commit that you fixed the issue number 7. If you click on this issue in this, you should get yourself here. Now you can see it is running a pipeline, and this basically how a pipeline is running. That's not well. So this is basically how my basic workflow, like how I push a new feature or like a new bug fix in production. So in my CI/CD pipeline, I am setting it up. I mean, I'm setting it up in a way that whenever I make a push to dev branch, it should run the pipeline, and when I make a PR pull request to my main line, I mean the main branch, then again it will be running the pipeline, and then it will be creating a docker image, and then we'll be pushing the docker image to the docker registry, and then from that docker registry my render account will be fetching the latest update, and then everything will be in production with tests. So that's how I'm doing it right now. So there was a flow, like how I fix a bug in production in my case as of now. And what I'm building, how I'm building, I will tell you some other time, but yeah, this is what I'm doing as of now. Yep. So I hope to see you again in the next video. And yeah, one more thing, that for this particular project I'm working with like somehow my favorite tech stack, which is Rust and Remix. So my front end is in Remix and my backend is in Rust. So everything is here on in Remix, and everything here is in the Rust. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.